Hey everyone, so today I wanted to make a video about the new 1.4 live stream and talk about all the information that came from that live stream because it was a lot and a lot of people don't have the time for it. I just thought I would just make a video for it as well. I did the same thing for 1.3, so I decided I'll make one for this one as well. Hopefully it won't be that long, the video, so we'll see. But with that, let's just go ahead and start. So first of all, let's talk about the new character that's coming out, Rosaria. And she is the new 4-star character. She's a cryo pole arm user. And for her skill, she dashes past enemies and deals cryo damage to his enemies that are within range. This dash can go through smaller enemies like the mid-sized hill trolls to the small hill trolls, but it won't go past bigger enemies like the ruin guards, the big hill trolls, and basically enemies of those size. And then with that, her elemental burst, she summons an icicle blade that strikes the ground and it inflicts AoE cryo damage that happens every few seconds, so it pulsates. And once you unlock a certain skill with her ascension, that burst will also increase all your party members' crit rate by a certain amount. And then lastly, she has her world skill, which is Night Walk, and between 6 p.m. and 6 a.m., it increases the walking speed of all party members. So Rosaria will be in the banners in 1.4, or one banner in 1.4, and let's just go ahead and talk about the banners that are going to be in 1.4. So there are two banners announced in 1.4, and that is the reruns for Venti and Child. And Rosaria will be added into Child's banner. So if you want her, you're going to have to pull for Child. Along with the characters, there's going to be new weapons added to the game as well. The new 5-star bow, the Elegy for the End, the new 4-star sword, the Alley Flash, the new 4-star bow, the Alley Hunter, and lastly, the new 4-star Callus, which is Wine and Song. Okay, next let's talk about the new enemy being added, which is the Abyss Herald. And for the Abyss Herald, it's going to be a story boss fight. It's not going to be added as a weekly boss currently, but it can be fought when doing the new story quest. And you can only fight him once, unfortunately, for now. But hopefully, in the future, he will be added as a weekly or something, because he looks really, really cool. Okay, so next is going to be a pretty long part of the video, but I'll make it short as possible. And that is the Windbloom Festival. It's separated into 3 different sections, so I'll talk about each one separately. The first one is the Festive Anecdotes, and it's sort of like how the Lantern Rite went with the quest, the 20 whatever quest we had to do. There's a bunch of quests you need to do, and you'll get rewards for each quest that you do. Okay, next is the Festive Challenges, and the Festive Challenges has 3 different mini games for it. The first being Bullseye Balloons, where you basically have an archer and you just shoot balloons. Some balloons have different effects, and it seems pretty fun. Next is Full Freefall, and this is a gliding type event where you basically start off like high in the sky and you fall down and you collect these orbs and you're trying to get as many points as possible. And lastly is Battle of the Breeze, and this is a rhythm game which I am personally fond of, and it's just like a mini game. And if you do all 3 of these mini games, you'll get some tickets where you can use to exchange for rewards in the show. And there are some special rewards in this part of the event. One being the Windbloom Festival commemorative balloon, and then next is the Windsong Lyre, where basically they're giving us an instrument in game so we can make our own songs. We can just play the lyre and we can just play a lot of different music and stuff like that, which is really cool. The last part of the festival is Peculiar Wonderland, and this is a really interesting event. It's like what I would consider like Mario Party. Like there's a bunch of mini games you need to do, and you need to collect these wind blooms during each mini game, and it ranges from avoid being hit by bubbles, like not falling down a platform, memory games like you just walk and you see a path, it'll disappear, and you have to memorize where the whole path is. And then for the rewards as a whole, we talked about some of them like the lyre and the balloon, but there is also a new 4-star weapon called Windbloom Ode, and you can get it all the way to R5, and lots of ascension materials, level up materials, weapon mats, and etc. If you do everything in the actual events, you will get a total of 1,000 Primo Gems. Okay, next are permanent content added to the game called Hangout Events, and they're basically sort of like character stories, except it's more visual novel slash dating sim type of content. And for now, we have part 1, which is Barbara, Noelle, Bennett, and Chongyun. And each time you try to do this content, you need 2 story keys. Basically, you're gonna go through a story, pick lots of options, and depending on what option you pick, it will guide you to an ending. And after you get an ending, you get rewards based off which ending you get. But if you don't like the ending, or if you want all the rewards, you can go back through options and pick another option to say to the character, and it'll go through a different route. So you can go through all of the ending and get all the rewards. And in the future, they said they're planning to release more characters because this is part 1. Next is the new event called Wishful Drops. In this event, you'll get a new Sealy pet type of item, and you need to use it in order to capture these water creatures that sort of escape Oceanid, and you're trying to figure out what is happening. Along with that, it also introduces a new boss fight with the actual Oceanid, the Rodea of Loach. When you beat the boss, you get lots of experience materials and Mora. But if you fight it, you do have to use resin, unless you have items called Heart of Spring, which you get from investigating and capturing the water animals throughout the area. And by using the Heart of Spring, you can use those instead of resin to get the EXP rewards from fighting the boss, and you get up to 5 total. And the last event is called Contending Tides, and this seems to be a wave type of arena events that you basically fight a bunch of mobs, and it will have 3 difficulties. Once you beat a difficulty, you get a reward based on which difficulty. But the good thing about this is that if you go ahead and do the highest difficulty, you'll get the rewards for every single difficulty below it. But it's different. It's not like if you beat all the ways, you get the rewards. It's more of like they have certain challenges or requirements for each difficulty, and if you do all 3 requirements, then you finish the challenge. And the rewards are basically the currency, like Mora, and a lot of other things, experience books, and talent mats. Okay, and then lastly, let's talk about the quality of life stuff that they added to the game with 1.4. So first of all, they're going to add 5 condensed resin maximum limit, where previously it was 3, and now we're going to be able to hold 5 at once. Next is manual cooking. So before, you can, once you finish the recipe or master that, you can only auto cook it after that. So they added an option to do both manual and auto. Okay, next is optimized crafting. What they mean by that is once you make an item and you use a certain character to make an item, whether it be a weapon, materials, or whatever, it will remember next time that to use the same person instead of you having to go through the character list and picking the person you want to pick, which is pretty nice because that's really honestly a little annoying. So, and then next after that is world level changes. Once the patch is live, you can change your world level by 1, either going down or up. And basically if you want to just go to a lower level, you can do that now. But there is a 24-hour cooldown per instance. The next QOL is added to profiles, where you can add all your name cards to your profile list, and you can basically just show how many name cards you have or certain name cards you want to show out, and it's just basically a name card flex. Okay, and then lastly is Abyss Run QOLs. When you go between floors, if you beat floor 9 and you accidentally press continue, you go straight to floor 10, but you can't exit out. They changed it so you can actually exit from there, which is really nice because that's honestly very annoying. You can also see the elemental resonance for each party now. If you just want to make sure that the resonance is working, it's pretty nice to have. And lastly, when you leave a chamber or you're not going to finish it or you can't do it, you can now have the option to retry. You can just leave that certain chamber. Okay, and with that, that's about all the new information for 1.4 that was given from the live stream. I hope that there's a lot of information that you guys really like. I am personally pretty excited about it. There's a lot more stuff going on than I thought. I was a little afraid that there wasn't going to, but thankfully my suspicions were not true. With that, thanks for watching the video. I hope this was informational to you, and I'll see you guys next time.